Here we are. Hi, everyone.
Hi guys.
Hi. We
Hi.
are here tonight. Well, it's night with Aliki, as you can see. Also with usual Mauro and Fede. I'm very sorry. I'm trying to get rid of them, but they're still here. Very sorry.
It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, that's great. That's good. Yeah, thank you. How are you, Aliki? First of all,
I am okay. I am still alive, so it's going well.
And that's something big in these times. About this time, so we just get away this argument and let's go do something else. But what do you think, and how did you cope with these weird times? During all the pandemic situation and something like that.
I mean, I was fine. I was fine. For me, nothing really changed because I basically have to work online anyway. Like, my job is only teaching singing, and most of that happens via Skype because it's not like all the metalheads get together and live in one city. So, yeah. And other than that, I mean, it was that kind of thing where everything went into lockdown and I got messages from like some close friends of mine who were like, I wish I was you right now, because I am just designed to be quarantined. I live like that anyway. Like, I don't go out. I'm a massive nerd. It's that kind of thing, where everyone's like, I have free time. I'm going to go out and walk. I'm going to go to the mountains. And I'm like, video games. So, yeah. So I just continued life very, very normally and didn't have to change anything.
You didn't notice the difference, so.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's interesting. That's great. I mean, it's something similar for me, for example, but but during the lockdown, as I already said before, I suffered the fact that I was not in charge of what was happening to me. I wanted to be isolated for my choice, not for someone else's choice. After the lockdown finished, I still stayed home. So
yay!
But it was my choice. It was completely different. Freedom.
Did like Fede and Mauro, did you enjoy the lockdown?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I had more time to play guitar and do stuff that normally I had not the time to do.
Nice.
So yeah, I pretty enjoyed the lockdown.
You played a lot guitar and you realized that ukulele was better, right?
Yeah, and also the drums.
Yeah, that's great. You figured that out? Finally. What about you, Fede?
I've cooked all day during this quarantine as the Italian tradition.
Oh, nice.
What did you cook?
Toast.
Pasta?
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, of course, pasta and pasta and sometimes some pasta and whatever. Yeah, no, I'm discovering myself that I am a good cook.
Oh, nice.
I think. And I sleep a lot. I slept a lot.
Okay, that's great. I believe you for the second.
Yeah, me too. I believe in me.
That's great. That's important. Go on, guys. Do we have any comments, Mauro?
Yeah, we have already many comments.
We do.
It's Paul.
Hey,
Paul. Hi to Paul.
Hi, Paul.
And I think the right pronunciation is Tobias.
Yes, Tobias.
Tobias, yeah.
Hi, Tobias.
Hi, man.
Hi, man. Ruben Gastelum.
Hi, Ruben. Hi.
Hey, Ruben.
Hello, and I think you may know these guys.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Daniela,
Video
give
games!
someone who enjoy video games
Yay!
like you. David Hockbaum.
Hi,
Beer,
David.
Lot of
beer,
beers. Yeah.
beer. And our great friend Matthew, the
Hey,
handsome.
Matthew.
Hi, Matthew. Hi.
Wow. I'm like, it's a profile pic with a whole lot going on. Oi, oi.
Oh, yeah. So, shall we start with the first question, guys?
Yep.
Okay, great. Let's go. So, when did you start singing and why or how?
Why is the best question.
Yes,
Why?
I always say this, but they are not changing the question. So, that's a little bit insulting, but don't tell them.
I don't know. I always kind of sang randomly. I started getting really into it when I was 14, because a friend of mine was in a school in Greece, in Thessaloniki, where I grew up, and her school put on musicals, which is not a thing in Thessaloniki. Like, you cannot see a musical anywhere. And so I went and I saw like a bunch of teenagers in a musical, and then I was like, me? Hello, I will join you. So I changed schools because that's what you do. When you want something in life, you just change schools. And I joined that school and I auditioned for the theatre team and I got in, and yay. And so then I started singing like constantly with the musicals and theatre team, and I joined the choir as well, and I just and I was super happy. And at the same time I was trying to find dudes for a metal band. I found them. And then I started singing lessons when I was 15, and those were classical lessons. And it was primarily because we have this really weird thing culturally in Greece where we mostly, at least this is a couple of years ago, but we primarily sing in chest voice. So we primarily just sing like the way that we speak. And so everyone's like going, etc. And everything's pretty epic. And I would sing, and then at some point I would flip. And I'd be like, oh, as happens. And whenever I would flip into my head voice, all my teachers and everyone would be like, okay, so that's a fake voice, that's a falsetto, so we're not going to use that. And I'm like, why? Massively insulted. And I couldn't understand it. And so I complained to my mother, who isn't Greek. And she was like, well, what do you want? And I'm like, if I go higher and higher and higher and higher in my range, I get more and more and more comfortable and happier. And I like being up there, and it's really easy. And so my mother, who is a soprano, was like, well, it just sounds like a soprano complaint. She's like, I'll get you a classical teacher if you're interested and you want to sing like, oh, I'm like, I want to, yes. So my mother found my first singing teacher. Yay! And I never stopped. Hey!
That's great. I liked your sentence when you said that if you want to achieve something in life, you have to change school. I should try that. I should try it. I should go back to school and try and change it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do ridiculous things. Like, I will change country. I will go anywhere to get what I want. Yay.
But the first step
Okay.
is changing school, and that's
Yes.
great. Yes. Imagine if you could change school and go in another country, changing school at the same time. You maybe get in charge of the world or something like that.
Mhm.
We should try. We should try.
I think it's the key to life.
We should try. Do we have any comments, Mauro?
There is funny comments from your bandmates.
Of course.
Note the huge raven
Oh.
in the background of Aliki's room.
Of course. He's wearing glasses. But, yeah. But he's looking away.
Why is there a raven behind you?
It's so it's a raven that is looking at what we believe, we the collective, believe is a music stand with music sheet on it. At least that's what we like to think is happening. And we randomly place headphones on the stand.
Okay.
It's a weird decoration that we use.
Everything random is great.
Exactly.
Paul says that looks like a toucan.
But it isn't.
But it's nice, says
I
Matthew
agree.
the Handsome.
Agree with Matthew.
Yay!
And also, we have to say hi to Bullet Vein. It's nice to see you there. I have watched many videos.
And it's like of something else. And you're like, fantastic. Good for you. Oy, oy.
That's great. That's great. Let's go on with the next question. When did you decide to become a professional singer? Which was the spark that brought you to this decision?
Okay, so like the honest answer is I didn't. I did not decide to become a professional singer. And I just, no, so weird. It's like I realized at some point in life, I wanted to join the Musicians Union in the UK because I had some problems and they helped me with that. But I called them up and I was like, hi, what do I need in order to join? And they're like, well, you need to be a profession and blah, blah, blah. And they took me through like all these questions. And I think in that moment, I was like, because they're like, do you do music? Like, yes. Full time? Yes. Like, what percentage of your income is from music? I'm like, 100%. Like, are you living off music? Yes. And like, well, I'm like,
Oh, that was a professional.
Exactly. I'm like, who knew? I never realized. So yeah, so it was really, really strange for me. Here is what I did know. I knew that at some point in life, I had read more books about voice than any voice teacher I was having lessons with. I knew that I knew more about anatomy than my teachers did. And I was just really, really interested in voice. And so then I decided, I kind of had a bit of a crisis, which was a combination of two things. It was a combination of not liking what I was doing because I originally, I studied film and I was working in short films and I was just, preparing for feature films and doing commercials and stuff. And I was like, oh, and so I love film. I love film. I love films. I love films. But what I don't like is going into job interviews where I walk into the room and every day of my life is a bunch of dudes, all of them, and the first thing that they'll say is, oh, you're a woman? And it's like, yeah, sorry. But I've got good credits and I can do the job and I promise you I'll be good I'll be as good as any dude on set. So I got tired of that. And I really, really wanted to do something in the arts, but a little bit less sexist. And I was like, what could it be? And so I complained to my mother. My mother's going to be like a common theme in life. But I complained to my mother, and I was like, meh, 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 meh. And she asked me, and she's like, well, what else do you like? She's like, you've always liked singing and you've always liked metal. She's like, is there any way you could do, you know, what those guys do? And I'm like, yeah, probably. And then she's like, okay, go for it. I'm like, great. And at the time I had found 2 years before that, I had found Justin Stoney's YouTube channel, and I checked out everything, and I knew that he had a course to train teachers, but I'm very, very, very annoying, and so I like stalked him and watched every video that he had released for 2 years just to check that the quality would be consistent over at least 2 years. And after convincing myself that the quality was consistent, I sent him an email and had a Skype conversation with him, and then took his course and started teaching full-time.
That's great.
Part-time. Wow. So yay!
That's great. So you decided not to work in the film industry because of sexism, and you decided to join metal music.
Yeah. Because
there is no sexism here.
Exactly. that was my hypothesis. Like,
yeah.
That's where I'll go. No, but it's a nice space creatively. So I need a space where I can do something really messed up and dark, really messed up and unconventional. At the same time, people who understand that some conventional things are really, really good in quality. And also, I mean, metal is great because it's got, no offense, but traditionally, like old school 70s, 80s, it's got a whole bunch of like ugly dudes who are skilled. And I'm like, yes, I want to be an ugly dude who is skilled. This is my personal goal. And I don't want to wear makeup. I don't want... And metal is a really good space for that. Because no one cares. No one actually cares. It's like everyone thinks that people will care, but no one cares. Like no one in the audience has ever been like, oh, why don't you wear makeup? Oh, why aren't you wearing a dress? It's like, no one cares. So it's awesome. Like it's still music centric. They still care about the music. So yay, not people.
Yeah. That's the most pure part of the metal scene, I think. It became something else, but there is still that part. So yes, that's what I liked of metal. So
it's really nice. And the beautiful thing is that, you know, if you don't try, if you don't look good, and you just look like a sack of potatoes, hello, this is the look I'm rocking, you get that kind of crowd. So it's really nice. Like no one who's looking for a beautiful female fronted band is coming for me. So I'm safe. Like it's just so beautiful. It's great. I'm in heaven.
We are used to this. I mean, well, we are ugly. Also, thinking about me, I'm the bass player. So even if I wasn't ugly, which I am, no one would come to see the bass player. It's something that never happens. If you're not like Jack Pastoris or Victor Wooten. So yeah.
Yeah, you're not ugly. You're like a cheap Keanu Reeves.
Yes, of course. If you're blind.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway, we do have a lot of comments, so Mauro, take.
Yeah, we have Tobias who explains to us a little bit more about the Raven.
Oh,
The Raven is a metal artwork from a
Oh.
factory in my hometown made by disabled young people.
disabled young people.
Disabled, sorry. That's great.
Great.
So that's from Holland,
Great.
Germany.
Thanks for the explanation. And then we have 8 Lives Down who wants Gordon Bear to show up.
Yay!
And you clicked the wrong comment. That's great.
Yeah, there is the one. Gordon. No, no, it's
It's the beauty of the live chat.
yeah. And then there is this kind of conversation between the two.
That's great. That's great. We want to read their
It's an
conversation.
exception situation. A live chat inside a live
Okay,
chat.
let's jump to
Oh.
Christian Kramer. Hi,
Hi,
Aliki.
Christian.
I say some greetings to you. The show in Sarsi was very fantastic. With which band you want to record and perform a song on stage? Greetings, this from Germany.
Oh my goodness. I mean, okay, well, it's the theme of today because my boyfriend was listening to their new album, but seriously, Anal Nathrak. Oh, I will also take Fuck Pig any day, but Anal Nathrak would be so amazing. Oh.
That's great.
Just give me grindcore stuff. I'll do Napalm Death and Cattle Decapitation as well. It's like the light stuff. Oh. That would be so cool.
Okay, and thanks to your bandmates who said you guys are all beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love liars. I love it.
It's always the
And
most
Fado,
important.
the bass player
Yes,
is always the most important. Hell yeah.
it is
I
true.
think that it's the bass player writing this, but
No.
Yeah,
no.
probably.
No. I don't think there's a single person in our band who isn't obsessed with bass.
Even the
Wow.
best player.
that's just because someone has to go to the bar and take drinks for everyone. That's why we are important. So yeah.
No. No, we have bass solos. We love bass. Like every time we play live, we have to go up to the live guys and we're like, you know the volume that the guitar plays at? Bass. Bass. It's really difficult. As in, usually they're confused and they never put the bass loud enough. And then by the time we get to the second song on our set, they've cranked the bass up all the way and they're like, okay, so the bass has the melody line in this band. That is weird. And we're like, yay, bass. So yeah, no, we love bass. Yay. Best instrument.
That's great. I want to speak with someone who saw your live shows and ask them what's the sound of bass. I want to see if
Could you hear
they get
bass?
it right finally.
Yeah. It's difficult. It is difficult.
Yeah, of course, I'm always joking about bass, but as a bass player, I love bass, and of course, I think it's the most important instrument. Anyway, let's go on with our questions. Which are the albums and the bands that have influenced you the most during your musical growth?
Okay, so I have a cheat sheet. I have a cheat sheet because it's one of those terrible things, you know, where it's like, what bands influenced you? And you just want to say everything. Everything I've ever heard in my entire life, from the stuff that I absolutely love to the stuff that I just hate. Like everything. But I mean, like number one top of the list is Sabotage. Always has been. Freaking love Sabotage. I have every single one of their albums. I think I know all their songs off by heart. There are a couple of songs. There are a couple of songs from their first album, so from Sirens, that and Dungeons Are Calling, which is like EP, that our drummer knows the lyrics a little bit better than I do, which means that I need to double check my lyrics again and relearn them. And I'm like, no. But Sabotage, I have every single album they ever released, and I absolutely obsessed over them. And I would print out their lyrics. I would write their lyrics everywhere. I would analyze their lyrics. I would bring their lyrics to my parents and discuss the lyrics with my parents and my sister. And I would also translate their lyrics into Greek for some of my friends who didn't speak English, so that we could then discuss the lyrics. It's so terrible. It's so nerdy. But yeah, so I love Sabotage. I really, really, really love the first album by Slipknot. I love the first album. First album is my favorite. From then on, it's like in decreasing interest and love, but I like almost everything that they've released. Not so much a fan of their latest album. But it's more because of the lyrics. I have an issue with the lyrics. It's like when people get a little bit too, I'm like, ugh. Like, I can't deal. So yeah, other than that, first album, awesome. I analyzed a lot of Linkin Park, and I did like the first two albums, but I only really liked the first two albums, and unlike everyone on planet Earth who's like, oh, Chester, Mike Shinoda. I like Mike Shinoda. I was only there for the rap. I was only interested in the rap, which is why the third album I was like, ugh, this is all singing. Ew. Go away. I don't want singing. I just want rap. And I also like Fort Minor. Like, I like all the side projects that Mike Shinoda did. I like Mike Shinoda. I like his work. It's good. I really like the Dresden Dolls, which is not metal, but really like them. Not that I think Linkin Park is metal. In my reality, Linkin Park is not metal, but I am aware that a lot of Americans think it's metal, which confuses me, but whatever, it's okay. I mean, Blind Guardian, Sonata Arctica, Stratovarius, Rhapsody, just feed me power metal any day. And I think, like, honestly, I don't understand, how can any human being be into vocals and not be into power metal? It's like vocalist heaven. It's like, nah. It's like saying, you know, I like drums and I like blast beats and I never listen to black metal. It's like, what are you doing? This must be a mistake. It's like, no, power metal. I love power metal. And I really liked Nightwish. I really liked whatchamacallit. Oh, yeah, I really liked Over the Hills and Far Away with 10th Man Down. I love 10th Man Down. 10th Man Down is like one of my favorite Nightwish songs. But that album, so I don't know why. It's like, you've got all the other options, which are like studio albums. I'm like, that live album, that one, with the 2 or 3 studio tracks. That's the one. I really, really like that one a lot. And I like Century Child as well. It's very nice. But yeah, like, that's primarily what I listen to as like a 11 to 14 years old. Like, this was the window, and loads of Eminem. So much Eminem. Oh my God.
I love it.
So much Eminem. Again, I love lyrics and I love rhythm, which is the whole thing with Slipknot as well, because I'm there for the drums. First and foremost, I'm there for the drums, and then I'm also there for the vocal line because of the syncopation that it has. And I listen to a lot of stuff like that. Like, I really like rap. And, you know, you get everyone who's like, oh, there's nothing happening. There's no melody. And I'm like, but rhythm. So, yeah, I really like that.
I love Eminem as well, so I get you. It's great, and he's always been.
What did you guys listen to?
And what about the Scooter?
Scooter! I mean, who doesn't like Scooter? What do you mean?
That's not me. It's a suggestion from.
Of course. Yeah, no. On
Who
the
is
way back,
Scooter?
Wait a second, are we talking about the same Scooter I know?
I mean, German.
Oh!
Like, how much is the fish, for example?
Yes.
Those Scooter, really? That's great.
Yes.
Finally, someone who knows Scooter.
No, everyone should know Scooter.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
It's
I
terrible.
totally agree.
Everyone should know Scooter. No, it's we did a gig in Switzerland, and then on the way back, we were kind of rotating, and everyone in the band got to pick like what music is going to play. And so everyone is picking things, and we're listening to like loads of metal, and we've listened to, I don't know, 6 metal albums. And at some point, the rotation comes to me, and I'm like, Scooter! Subjected the whole band to like an hour, 2 hours of Scooter. I'm like, it's so good. But yeah.
That's great.
He's got a live stream, which is insane. It's so good. Like, it's the best live stream thing I've ever seen. It's literally the band, so it's like 3 dudes in a room trying to have a rave by themselves, and it is beautiful. There's so much energy. I'm like, oh. Like, he's going completely insane. It's so great. Check it out.
Yes, I will.
Advertising Scooter. It's like the one band that has earned so much money. Doesn't need any advertising, but yay, good.
Anyway, I have a suggestion. If you are a drummer and you really like blast beat, but you don't want to listen to black metal, just listen to polka very fast. It works.
It's a good suggestion.
a lot of people enjoying the Scooter in the audience. That's great.
I know Scooter.
They're all from Germany, and that's great. I love Scooter. I was listening to them when I was, I don't know, maybe 16 or 17, but I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, we were in the high school.
Yeah, you do remember that, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's great. Anyway, let's go on with our questions. Speaking about 8 Lives Down, how 8 Lives Down was born? What are the story and the concept behind the project?
So I started looking for a band in 2014. I started looking for a band because something weird happened, and between 2012 to 2013, so like for those 2 years, and now I'm just going to get like a bunch of really angry people in the comments, like, how dare you? But in those 2 years, I didn't hear any music that I liked. And I was like, oh my God. And it was really, really, really difficult because I listened to so much music and I didn't like anything and nothing was happening. And so then I was like, okay, so clearly trends are going in a direction that I don't like and I don't like what's happening. So I'll just make music and then I can listen to my own stuff. It was like desperation. So like, I'll make an album that I want to listen to and that I'm happy to listen to. And so I tried to find a band, and it took me 2 years to find people. Yay. Because First of all, it's really difficult to find people who don't want to play covers and want to just create original music. Second of all, I don't know if it was just a thing that was happening at the time, but like you'd find all the ads for bands, and everywhere, left, right, and center, at least in the UK, it was like, no women. We don't want women.
There is no sexism in this world, you know.
Exactly, because there's no sexism in metal, so no women allowed. And so I got a lot of that. I got a lot of people that were like, oh, we want to do a death metal band, no women, and they're like,
Yeah.
But yeah.
And if you ask them their favorite band, maybe is Arch Enemy, and they don't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, so there was a lot of that, and then, you know, once in a blue moon you get a person who's like, women only, and you're like, I don't want either.
Why do you choose musicians based on sex?
I know. I was like, none of these seem to be too focused on the music, and no. So I found human beings. Yay! Yeah. And then we released an EP where we were basically kind of musically exploring subgenres of metal. And at the time we had a guitarist, James Scott, who decided to move out of London and leave the band and focus on his own project. And so then we got our current guitarist, who is Paul. Yay! Okay. Pom-poms. And he like came into the rehearsal room and he's like, what do you guys want to do? What direction? What subgenre are we? And we're like, we're everything. And we're going to go everywhere. And he's like, oh my God, it's a bunch of crazy people. I'm like, yes. And then he's like, but is there like an underlying subgenre? Is there something? We're like, no. Just metal, heavy, screw subgenre. Who needs it? So yeah, ta-da! And that was the idea. The idea was just to make a space that is so weird and free that you can do anything. You know, like tomorrow one of the guys could come in and be like, I want to do a soft ballad with a harp. And we'll all be like, okay, let's do it. That's it. That's the whole idea. It's just you should be able to do everything. So yeah, it's fun.
That's I can imagine it's fun. That's great. That's what music should be about, I think. So, and what's the songwriting process of the band? I mean, how do you usually come up with your ideas?
I'm like complete chaos. So it's completely free. So it can start from like a guitar riff, a bass line, drum pattern, a concept, a vocal line. It really, really doesn't matter. And there's one rule, so to speak, in the band, which is that you're not allowed to say no to any idea. You're just not allowed to say no. What you're allowed to say is, I'm not feeling it right now. And then it gets put on a shelf. And at some point when your brain has processed it and you're like, actually, who doesn't want to fuse Iranian psychedelic rock with polka? I mean, why not? Then you bring the idea of the weird 70s Iranian music and you do it.
That's great. That's how a lot of new genres of music have been made. You know, you try to mix them together, and then someone with more money and wealthier than you steal your idea and becomes
of
famous.
Course.
That's how it works.
Exactly. This is the ecosystem of music and art. Aye. So bad.
What about the name of the band? What's the origin of the name?
The name of the band is so random. and so pointless. It was literally me writing down things that sounded okay to me and then picking one. It's just so random. And I was just so happy about 8. I was like, it's spelled in a nice way and I like it. It just every now and then you just have to let the subconscious brain do what it wants to do. It's like just let it happen. Don't try and explain it. Okay. So,
That's great. I like random things, as I said, so that's great. Do we have any comments, Mauro?
Yeah. We have Thomas.
Oh, Thomas!
Thomas who says hello to the band.
Yeah.
Paul who comments.
It's Paul. It's Chizente.
Yeah, when you were talking about him. And then we have a question from Tobias.
Oh.
Have you guys listened to Humas? If yes, what's your take for our song?
Yeah.
My five song is Opening Shots.
I didn't have the chance yet to listen to it, but I will, and I will
Yes.
let you know.
Yes, and
my
just
third song,
sit
but
there in a corner and
I-
be like, bass.
I usually don't pick a song because I am not able to, focus on a song. I mean, if I listen to an album, I'll just listen to the album, and I will not remember a particular song because it's like reading a book for me. It's not like you have a favorite chapter of the book, I don't know. That's maybe we'll see. We'll see. Maybe one song
Will stand out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, well, let us know.
Yes. Also, we do have a question for the people listening and watching the live chat, right, Mauro?
For those who listen, from Tobias. For those who listen, the Light Lives Down album Humas, what's your favorite track?
Ooh. It's like trying to do a group poll of everyone. And then everyone collectively agrees that it's like, that song that's not on the album? That's the best one. Great. Fantastic. Aye.
And good answer, Fajo says
Thank you.
Tobias.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just how I listen to music. I don't remember also the titles of the songs because of this. I just remember, I don't know, I like the track number 4 because I don't read the titles. I just listen to
Oh, I do that. I never used to, but now, like in the last 4 years or so, I'm like, I like track number 7. And I just can't remember the titles. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. And most of the titles are really simple and easy, and I'm like,
I also remember only the track number because my car is too old, and when I put the CD in the car, the title never it doesn't appear. So I never see the track.
We could figure out that your car was old because you still have a CD player in your car.
Yeah.
It's very old. I have cassette in mine anyway.
Whoa.
So you win.
No.
Yeah, my parents' car still has cassette only.
It's like, in mine there is a vinyl player.
It's like the advanced car. Like the on.
A gramophone. Yeah.
That's comfortable. That's great.
Yeah.
I like it.
A lot of scratch on my vinyls, by the way.
Yeah, also, it's always good to have your vinyls with you.
Yes.
Very light discs. Anyway, let's go on with our question. Do you remember your first live performance with 8 Lives Down, and what was your best live performance ever?
I do. I do remember our first live performance because it was an unexpected. It was at the Cart and Horses in East London, which is basically where like Maiden did their first gig. And so you get there and there are posters of Maiden and everything is Maiden and you're like, yay! And it was fun. And we were playing on a weekday, which, you know, is always dead and there's no one around and you're like, yay! And the stage is tiny. And so we just like put our drummer on the stage and we all got off the stage and we're like, okay, yay, we're going to play in the crowd. And it was really nice because we started playing and we were on quite late by UK standards, which is not late. It's like 9 o'clock or 9:30, like just not late. But generally people in the UK are like, I need to sleep.
Well, during the week, at least.
During the week, yeah, whatever. I'm Greek. You go to sleep at 2 a.m. if it's early. Like, it's just not normal. But yeah, so we started playing, and then we did the first song, and it was empty, and then we started playing the second song, and I just remember, like, looking down and looking up, and it was packed. It was just like a bunch of people who had come from the street. And I was like, yay. Like, is this where the metalheads are hiding? I don't know. But it was really, really, really nice. It was really fun. So I remember that. And out of best live performances,
Hard.
Yeah, it is always hard. I mean, for me, I loved when we played in the Netherlands for the Femme Metal Festival, for the battles to try and get in, because it's got a huge stage and you're like, oh, because you know, the more space they give you, you're like, oh, I'm so gonna run around everywhere. Like, I'm gonna go crazy now. So it's really nice. Like, I love large stages. They're so freeing. I really, really, really love them. And so I loved that time. I think theoretically and hypothetically, though, like, it's equal with the last gig that we did in Switzerland. Which I can't even say because, I mean, you know, when you don't know how to say something, it's like revert to your original accent. Sursi, take the Greek accent, whatever. But I was ill. So like I had a really, 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 really sore throat, and everything was so inflamed and I was dying, but I had a great time. I was dying. I don't remember most of it. Like, I know that at some point I fell down on stage because I was tired. But I like those moments in life. I'm like, yeah, let's just die on stage. Let's just, you know, be like, well, yeah, let's just get on stage and die. It sounds like a good plan. So I really liked it. And I'm sure that if I wasn't dying, I would have liked it even more.
Yeah, probably.
But it was really, really, really fun. And there were like, they'd randomly get really nice mini mosh pits going, which is always so nice.
Mini mosh pits.
Yeah. The mini mosh pits are the nicest ones because you're like, no one's going to die. But look at them try to kill each other. Isn't it lovely? So I really like mini mosh pits. They make me happy. So yeah. I'm so happy.
That's great. That's great.
It's like thinking about it. It's like,
I'm thinking about mini mosh pits and trying to figure them out. It's great. Anyway, speaking about still 8 lies down, what are the plans in the future?
woohoo. So the plans are: don't break up, continue, survive, make music. These are the basic
Good.
plans. Sounds like a good plan.
Yes.
We're still, trying to figure out ways to promote the album, which is interesting. Because it's always fun releasing your first album during a pandemic. And it's like, yay, let's build up an audience. I think it has nothing to do. No live gigs. Like, great. So now I guess it's more down the lines of getting people to listen to it, trying to get it onto playlists, ? Who knows how to do that? Make friends. And we're going to prep a couple of, so we're going to do, like a playthrough of one track on the drums, bass, guitar, that kind of stuff, and start prepping another music video somehow. It's like, how can I make my shopping look interesting on camera? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, like arrange vegetables. I'm up for it. I think it will be fine. But yeah, it's just trying to figure out what is doable and possible during lockdowns. And yeah. And other than that, like, this is such a weird reference, but that South Park episode with
Which
the
one?
underpants gnomes, where they steal everyone's underwear, and then they all get together, and they're like, what's the plan? And they've got the blackboard, and they're like, step 1, steal underwear. Step 2, question marks. Step 3, profit. I'm like, that's the plan. So that's what we're doing.
That's great.
That is the plan. That is the concrete plan.
Yeah, so you're on point number 2 right now, right?
Yeah, it's great.
We all are, I think. Anyway,
yeah.
in the meantime, guys, you can go find 8 Lives Down on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and also, yes, down here,
It's-
also the website. You can go and check their music and their brand new album. They released it during the pandemic, as we
It's like,
did.
tell a friend. Statistics say that online marketing accounts from like 6 to 11% of your revenue, and everything else is word of mouth. So start talking, people, because otherwise we're all fucked.
Oh, yes. So go and check them out. Absolutely. We want to know what's your favorite track. If you are not like me, that you don't remember the name of the tracks. Anyway, I think it was a good idea to release an album during the lockdown because people need music to listen to. And I'm not saying this because we did the same error. I don't think it was an error. We did it on purpose, of course. Well, we are suffering a little bit the fact that we cannot promote it playing live, But
yeah.
Well, we'll survive, and we will play something live sooner or later.
Woohoo!
Speaking about you, do you have any side projects besides It Lies Down?
Yeah, I've got I have 2. So let's rephrase this.
No problem.
8 Lives Down is a band. Woo. And the primary thing that I do, and then I sing for a band called Desolate Plains, which is like a studio project with Lambros Potamianos, like the long Greek name that never ends, like, but yeah. So he writes all the music and he writes the lyrics as well. So it's super fun because I just like make a cameo appearance and sing it. I'm like, no! And it's really nice, and it's kind of it's like a weird cross between death and thrash, I guess. All the lyrics are based on existential anxiety, existential crises, and Lambros writes everything because, I mean, the amount of philosophy that dude has read and the amount of books that he has on that subject, it's so nice. And I just come in and like once in a blue moon, maybe will correct like a tiny grammar thing, but usually no, like usually his lyrics are just perfect and I'm like, ta-da! So we have 2 albums with Desolate Plains, and that's just Lambro playing guitar, bass, everything. Hugo Rivero on the drums, who is now playing for Moonspell. That'll be interesting. I bet he's just sitting in a corner going like, damn it, lockdown! My drive and I cannot gig. But yeah. And then I got attached to another studio project called Tattered Pages, which is composed, is written by Gregor Mixmaster, who also mix and masters it. And we have 2 singers on that. It's me and it's Neil, who is from Venezuela. Woohoo! And I write all the lyrics for that, and it's really strange. It's really weird, and it's super fun because, to begin with, like for the first album, we've released 1 album and the second album is ready, but we haven't released it yet. And for the first album, like I just recorded all the vocals, and then Neil recorded all the vocals as well. And we always record every single vocal line. So we record all the harmonies, everything. And then we wait and we see who gets mixed in and who gets given which line. And so it's really fun because you're kind of finding out what's happening in the moment. And I remember listening to the first album and just not knowing sometimes when I was singing and when Neil was singing, because we sound so similar. I don't know how and why, but we sound so similar. And I'm like, that dude sounds a lot like me, and I sound a lot like that dude sometimes. And then every now and then, thankfully, because I've got like the weird mixture from my mum of the New Zealand accent that's been out a little bit, and he's got the Venezuelan accent. So every now and then he'll sing something, and I'm like, ha! I can figure out who's singing because of the accent, but not the voice. So that's fun to listen to. It's always nice. It's like the nice moments in my life when I sound like a dude. I'm satisfied. It's like life goals achieved. It's all I want.
The weird thing is that you are not capable of recognizing your voice.
No. I don't know. I mean, I randomly, like, I'll hear something that I sang on, and it takes me a while. And I was like, Kalle, it's me. It's I don't know. I just never, I don't assume that I will hear me. It's like putting on, if someone's watching something, you don't assume that they're going to be watching your face either. You're just like, I mean, it can't be me. It's going to be someone more relevant, surely. But yeah, it's really nice and it's really fun.
So yeah.
Maro, do we have any comments?
Yeah. This comment about Desolate Plains.
That's
Desolate Plains has a lot of black influences too. Are you agree? Do you?
I
agree?
mean, how can
Are
you
you agree?
Sorry.
I mean, I don't think, like, to not be completely crushing of other amazing, lovely subgenres of metal, but how can you do existential anxiety without having a little bit of black in there? Like, it's like you've got it wrong. There needs to be some black in there, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I'm trying. I'm really, really, really hoping though to get like some more Greek church influences in there. It's like the weird things that I want to do in life, where I'm like, let's go Byzantium, I mean, full on, let's do it.
You can
Not
do it.
Patushka level, but let's do it.
And he also says that Neil and Aliki sound extremely similar. Listen to it.
It's true, yeah, which makes me think that arguably, in some kind of way, Neil and I are both singing in a almost genderless tone, which is good. I highly recommend that everyone sings in a genderless tone so that no one knows if it's a female or a male singing and everyone is confused. It's a good place to be.
And in the meantime, we have to say hello to Gianni Aviles
Hi.
Rivera
I
I don't know.
and Yolinsti Santi
Hey,
Ortega.
honestly.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Right? And also, Tobias suggests don't
Abisiel.
forget Abisiel.
Biciel, yeah, but that's not that's more. I just did like guest vocals. I did 2 tracks for Abisiel, which is a black metal project. Oh my god, so nice. Really, 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 really nice melodies. I mean, it's black metal. It's always like that's the place to go if you want really, really nice melodies. But it's so nice. So yeah, Abisiel, if you're into black metal and you want to hear hysterical high screams from me, go there. Aye, aye.
Oh, so much fun. Yeah. Mama.
I don't know, and I
Great.
also, I mean, I sang for Dan's album, which isn't out yet, but that's more like featured stuff. That's
We
more
still
like
have
the
to wait
tourists
for it.
came along and went, so yeah.
Yes, we will listen to it when the dance album will be out. We still have to wait. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know at what point he is in the process. So he was about to release it when we spoke with him, but
Yeah.
I think that nothing changed.
I don't know. I sent him like I sent him a photo for the booklet. So it's
Oh,
moving.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's great.
It's getting there.
That's
Awesome.
great. And we're waiting, so that's good. Anyway, speaking about you, which are your hobbies and interests besides music?
Video games. He's like the nerd. Yeah, let's see. I really like video games. I really like comic books. I specifically, so I am more inclined to read manga and manhwa. So generally, like I will gravitate towards China, Japan, Korea, Thailand, like that part of planet Earth. Out of American things, more down the lines of Lock and Key, Sin City, that kind of stuff, From Hell, Watchmen, not so much Marvel DC.
Okay.
Just putting that out there for the nerds. So don't get excited. If you're Marvel DC stuff and you're like, oh my goodness, superheroes, I'm like, no. But if there's any comic book about like someone, you know, something like Akira, something, you know, something about nuclear war and everyone having depression, yes, talk to me. I will happily read this. So yeah. I also read a whole bunch of books. I like reading a lot. I do like reading. What else do I like? I normally do dance, but I'm taking a break at the moment because I've got a weird muscular imbalance on my. I'm so bad with left and right. It's terrible. I'm left-handed. Okay, so left on my left leg, like towards the top of the leg near the hip, I've developed some kind of weird weakness. So I'm fixing that before I go back to dance. Okay. But other than that, dance is a hobby.
Which kind of dance? Black metal dance?
Wouldn't that be great? And then it's just me, like alone, going, oh, in my living room. I do tribal belly dance, so tribal fusion. Not the American tribal system, just on the off chance that there are any nerds out there. I know. I can't deal with the zills. They annoy me. It's like, I mean, if you've got a really nice tabla there, I want to hear the tabla. I want to hear the percussionist. I don't want to hear a bunch of dancers going tack, 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 tack on the zills. It's like, stop, let the percussion do the percussion because they have a good sense of rhythm and they're really good at it. Let them do that and you can dance. So, but yeah, just plain boring tribal fusion. So, hey.
What are your favorite video games?
Yay.
So I really like Final Fantasy. I'm very much a JRPG human. Right now, I am, you're gonna die, but right now I am playing 2 video games at the same time. I am playing, yes, I am playing the PlayStation 1 version of Final Fantasy VI. Don't ask. I'm like, yes, 8-bit Nintendo graphics, I'm here for it. All the way, like, yes, 2D looks fantastic. And my boyfriend just walks in and dies on the inside and is like, how, why? And I'm like, yay! And I'm also playing, so I've got my Nintendo 3DS and I'm playing, I'm playing, oh my god. I'm playing Historia, Perfect Chronology. Yeah, which is weird. That's fun. And I am attempting to... I'm attempting to explain to my boyfriend what it means to play an RPG and to get into an RPG and what a life commitment it is and a time commitment and how much work it is because he doesn't play video games. And it's difficult and, you know, and so like I will get upset and I'll be like, because there's so much happening in my video game. And then I have to try and explain to him that there's a lot of really complex stuff that's happening and I'm really upset about it. So yeah, so I'm doing that. And I recently was given Life is Strange as a present for my birthday. And so I'm going to play that once I've finished FF6 and I've finished Historias, which I swear to God I'm saying incorrectly. My brain is just going at the moment, but yeah. Other than that, like best video games ever, best video games or video games that are definitely worth playing, apart from Final Fantasy, would be, so on PC, The Longest Journey. I mean, I don't know if anyone is even able to play it. It's so old, but oh my God, so good. That one is fantastic. For PlayStation 2, Shadow of Memories is awesome. It's one of those really, really nice video games where you start and the first scene of the game is you dying. And you're like, ah, yes! It's clearly, just give me death and I will be happy. Out of like PlayStation 3, like more recent stuff, but whatever. Catherine is awesome. That's puzzle, super fun. It's so nice. It's a guy who's a software engineer and has a girlfriend, and she kind of wants to marry him. And so the gameplay is him having nightmares that she is coming for him. And it's like a horror puzzle game. It's so great. It's so good. It is so good. So, you know, like if you don't want to get married in life, this is a great video game to play. Yeah, it's awesome. What other video games are really, really cool? I mean, PlayStation 1, Kodolka is a really nice horror game. PlayStation 4? Nothing so far. Yeah, nothing yet. Nothing yet, but I have a game. Oh, I have a game that I bought that I haven't played yet. And I don't remember what it's called. That's so bad. It's like something about war, but either way, you're playing like children in the midst of war who are hiding. And I'm like, yes, let's do this. So yeah, yay. Dun-dun-dun-dun. And other than that, fighting video games are always nice. So I'm like, yay, because who doesn't just want to beat the shit out of someone sometimes?
Yeah.
That's what life is like.
Yeah, always sometimes.
Only.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be difficult to explain to your boyfriend how an RPG player is, because if he doesn't play video games, RPG players are maybe the you know the complete opposite of someone who doesn't play video games.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I know. It's like the life commitment to the game. Like,
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so far I've kind of got it under control. Like I play on Sundays. This is my schedule. I play on Sundays, and all other days I work. Teardrop. Oy, oy.
So yeah. Do you guys play anything?
I don't anymore, but I was an RPG player as well.
Yeah.
And if I had to decide to play only on Sundays, I would change calendar every day to make every day Sunday. So
I know.
it's maybe better if I don't play anymore because I don't have much time.
Yeah.
RPGs are very time consuming. They are they are fun, I admit it, but at some point in life you have to decide if having a real life or the virtual one. And I decided the virtual one, and that failed. So I'm in the real life now.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of real life. I'm like, nah, it's not working. But yeah.
I used to play with the. Oh, sorry.
No. Say.
I used to play PlayStation 1 back in the
Wow.
days, and I loved Metal Gear Solid.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
And last Christmas, my brother gave me a new version of the Sega Mega Drive, because I have a Sega Mega Drive in my 10, 11 years, and but I never I played very few times.
It doesn't matter. It's still exciting.
Indeed,
Such a nerd.
too many bits. 8-bit is better, like the Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About me,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of FPS.
Oh yeah.
For example, Halo or Call of Duty or Medal of Honor, and
Yeah.
I like so much fighting games. For example, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the best. And yeah, but my favorite video game ever, it's Super Mario. Any platform. Yeah, it's a cult.
You are so a true Italian. I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oy, oy.
A
I've never
Japanese
played
plumber
Halo.
named Super Mario. Yeah.
I've never played Halo. I've only listened to the soundtracks because I just it's ridiculous. Like I spend so much time listening to video game music. It's like I really should listen to more bands, but I really just listen to a lot of video game music, and I've listened to so much music from games that I haven't played yet. But yeah, Halo I haven't played, and I
You
would
have
like
to try
to.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would really, really
there
like
are a
to.
lot of chapters. It's a huge saga. I think there are right now, I don't know, 6 or 7 video games about Halo. So,
Fantastic.
and I think there is also an RPG of
It's
Halo. Yeah,
It's good. You know what? Even if there wasn't, it's like how to get an RPG
I have
player
to check
into
this.
FPS. There are 6, and it's a saga. You're like, I'll do it. I'll play
Yeah,
the
I
FPS.
have to check this because I'm pretty secure. Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm a
Let
fan
me-
of Half-Life. So
oh, that's great.
yeah.
But what video games did you like? He's like,
Well,
now that I think back, none. It was a horrible time in my life.
no. I was talking about Half-Life. Do you know the first-person shooter?
Oh yeah,
That was
Yeah.
one of my favorite video games, or Diablo, of course.
yay, yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
well, I was playing Ultima Online, but I remember Soldier of Fortune, Commandos, which was very, very hard.
Yay.
And Seek and Destroy. No, it was another. What was the name?
Command and Conquer.
No,
maybe? No.
yes, something like that.
Monkey Island.
Never played it
Why?
because I'm not that old.
What do you mean?
I remember that. Hey guys, now I feel very old. The first video games I was playing, they were on not even floppy disks. It was the 525 inches discs on the Commodore 64. And I had some games on cassette as well. So well. Monkey Island was something that I wanted to play, but I didn't add a computer with a graphic card yet, so I couldn't play it. And then when I could afford a computer with a graphic card, Monkey Island was already too old, so I never played it.
Yeah.
That's the story.
There are a lot of comments about video games. A lot of
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
a
go.
lot
really?
of
Let's go.
a lot of
Yeah.
nerds here.
Yay!
Yeah, good.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's this question. I don't know if video games
Aha.
related.
Wait a second.
What do you
JCD, is it Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yes, it is. Congratulations,
Okay.
you win.
Okay.
Um,
This is a very weird question.
No, it isn't.
yeah.
This is the way that we prepare for live shows.
Big
Every
fan.
time that we get together as a band, we watch a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Okay.
Every
oh,
time.
good.
You watch
It's
the movies.
insane. No, it's insane. Like from when he starts up till now, he has at least one movie every single year that is released. There's so many. Like we're never going to
It's-
finish
yeah.
them. But yeah, it's great.
If you want to know what I think about Jean-Claude Van Damme, think about this. The last thing that I watched from him is a commercial, actually, for the Volvo trucks, where
Yes.
he is standing. Yeah, you saw it. Where he is standing on the rear mirrors, on the two trucks going along, just to show how stable they are, and it's crazy. You have to watch them if you didn't.
It's like advertising Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
everything. Oh, so bad. Boy.
Yeah, coming back to video games. Mark Holcomb says my go-to PS4 game is MLB The Show 2020
Ooh.
or the NHL games, so
Mhm.
sports
Okay.
related.
Yeah.
Tobias, so cool, Maro. I have Commodore 64. Need to fix it though. Maniac Mansion, best game, and Jana Sisters, and Bubble Bobble.
Oh, bubble.
Maniac Mansion was crazy. Yeah. Paul, Halo
Hello.
is
Yeah.
so good. Quake, guys.
Quake,
Quake.
Come on.
yeah, quick
Quake.
Quake.
We used to add LAN parties at school with Mauro with Quake 2. It was great.
Yeah.
Then we switched
Yeah.
to Quake 4, if I remember it right,
Yeah.
with new
Yeah.
engine.
What about Doom?
Yeah.
Doom? Well, you know,
I
before
need to
Doom,
check out the soundtrack that they released recently with
Mm.
the choir. Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
It's for, I think it's for the last chapter.
yeah. I'm
It's
so
Doom
excited.
Eternal. Yeah. It's
Yeah, I think so.
you have to
heavy
know that
soundtracks.
before Doom, there was this game on floppy disk called
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
No.
Oh,
Which was made
yeah.
from the
Another
same
great
team,
saga.
the very same team that did Doom later. Well, actually, if you have Netflix, you have to watch the documentary about video games, which is great. Did you watch it?
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet.
You have to see it. It's a little bit romanticized, but it's good. It talks about all the history of video games, and
Yay.
they interview the guys. Actually, the guy who wrote Doom is a metalhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to, yes, you
I
have to
know
see it.
that. That much I know. Oh,
They interview all the guys behind a lot of historic video games. The guy who coded Tetris and all this stuff. It's
oh,
great.
Tetris.
Yes.
I
Or
literally
Pac-Man.
I actively avoid Tetris because I know that if I start, like, that is it.
Yeah. Me too.
It's
I
the
can
most
remember.
addictive game ever. It's
I-
terrible.
Yes, I have a problem with Tetris. When I play Tetris, I will dream about Tetris. So yeah,
love that.
I tend to avoid it because I need to sleep during the night. You know? And not thinking about blocks and how to combine them to erase lines.
Oh, but it's so much fun.
Yeah,
So nice.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna dream about this tonight.
Yeah, and it's really useful when you have to prepare yourself to charge your van during for a tour. You know, like that.
Yes, of course. You have to
Okay.
close the truck, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good preparation.
Oh yeah, also Unreal Tournament. I do remember it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great for LAN parties because you vote against your friends and you frag them a lot, and then you have to fight in real life. And that was great. A lot of people breaking stuff.
Yeah, I have the same situation with Mario Kart. You know,
Yep.
me and my cousins.
We have a comment from Paul related to Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he says the tracks are actually great backwards.
They are.
Yes, yes. I do remember it was like the automatic alignment of the truck with the trailer they wanted to show. It was not the stability, or maybe also the stability, but that's impressive. Yes, we will be paid by Volvo Trucks, of course.
Of course.
Okay, so I think this is it. We are out of questions, but we usually let our guest have a final speech, which is very official. So yes, so
That's
it's
stupid.
your time for
Oh.
your final speech.
Yay! Let's see. Fun times. We have an album. It's called Humans. It's nice. I like it. I like it. Go listen to it. Let me know if your taste aligns with mine. And if your taste is completely different, that'll be fun. We'll see what we can do. I mean, at the moment, there's like no point in making any plans because everything gets cancelled and everything changes. So it's like, oh, yay. Everything is always up in the air. But other than that, you know, we'll work from a distance, start working on new music and fun stuff with the band and see what we can do in terms of promoting the album without live gigs, which is fun. Yeah. And other than that, I mean, I wish everyone was not working from home because I usually rely on the hours where people work from home to do my vocal practice. And now everyone is home. So now all my neighbors get to hear random like, I was like, sorry. But hey, what can you do? So yeah. Aye. Teardrop. But yeah. If you feel up for listening to music, you can find our stuff on 8livesdown.com. You can check out Desolate Plains if you want something a little bit more death and depressing. And you can check out Tattered Pages if you want something a little bit more alternative and less depressing. Ooh. It's like fantastic. Degrees of depression.
Yeah, I love the fact that you said less depressive and not depressing at all. That's good.
Well,
That's good.
I mean, but yeah, ta-da!
Okay.
That is all.
Yeah, that's great, fantastic. Check out the links below, of course. You will find the link under the video because it will remain online on both on YouTube and Facebook. Yes, there is also the link for the video of your song from Tobias, but we cannot share it here because it will not be clickable. You have to go on the comments on Facebook and find it, but we will be sure to link it below the videos as well. Of course, thank you very much for being with us, Aliki. It was great. It was fun. And subscribe to our channel, hit the bell button. Also, those two unnecessary steps to accomplish one goal. And
Yeah.
thank you very much, guys, for being
Thank
with
you.
us. And see you next time.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Thank you.